This is my original Mark 8. I thought about ditching this machine so many times, but I just don't have the heart to do it. I mean, I really worked my tail off on this baby for a whole year, back in 74, 75. There's the memory, the 1101, 1K of memory, 1024 8-bit bytes of memory, front panel board, output board, beautiful boards. The only problem with them was there was no, they were not plated through the holes, so you had to solder them on both sides. I'm telling you, that was a pain. Look at this. Look at all these ICs on there. And I had to solder those on both sides of the board. I used these special little pins to mount the solder in, mount the sockets in. Sorry about that. These little babies right here. Then I could get at them to solder them on both sides, on the front and the back. There's the CPU card. Still got the original 8008 CPU in it. When they first came out, they were 120 bucks. By the time I got around to getting the CPU in there, early 75, after working all fall and winter on these boards, then they were down to like 20 bucks, 25 bucks. It's an amazing little machine. I used it as a CW memory keyer on my amateur Radio Shack. My bus was a series of wires down here. This was before the MSI 8080, before Selby, before any of them. This was the very first one. Designed originally by a fellow named John Titus, I think at Virginia Tech, for his master's thesis or his PhD, I don't remember which. It was in the July issue of Radio Electronics in 1974, and I hopped right on it. Had to find all the parts, scoured the electronic magazines. There wasn't any internet back then. But lo and behold, after thinking so many times it was never going to run, the project would be a failure, one day in the spring of 75, put the switch forward, debugged the last few IC problems, and pow, she took off. She took off. Now, a while back, 4 or 5 years ago, I rebuilt all the boards with my Chinaman buddies over there in China. And here is the current version of my 8008, running like a champ. Running like a champ. Did a little work on her today. We're a friend of mine over in Sweden, Michael, SM7LEW, fellow ham, and I have been working on a memory board, combination ROM and RAM, and we about got that ready to go. I'll be sending off to the Chinaman for the board. In the meantime, double checking, making sure everything works fine on the old plow horse here, I guess you'd call it. Oh, people wonder why we do this. It's like guys who collect old cars or collect old anything. I mean, this computer, by today's standards, is a real relic. But let me tell you, when it came out in 74, it was so exciting. A personal computer, the first personal computer that you could build and run yourself. That was amazing. Never heard of before. This is it. Your TRS-80s, all those things, they came long after this Intel 8008 CPU. And it's just a pleasure to play with and work with. Anyway, had a little problem with those port 0 readouts there. And I found a couple of bad 74-75 latches on that front board. They went south on me, so I replaced them. You know, here's our stop button. We can stop at any time we want to, take a look at it, start her again. Nice little machine. Here's a memory data bus on the top. Busy working on a modification to put that down here so I don't have that strap running across the top. Yes, sirree. I changed all the power around on it. I originally had a huge power supply to run it. I modified the workers a little bit so I can just use a standard PC computer power supply and get power to her. So she's running good. I just love it. I just absolutely love it. I'm having a little scotch here to celebrate getting her all set up and ready to go for the new memory card when I order it. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Michael, this is the extender card I built just for fun. And I'll send you a spare one. I got 5 of these, you know. Anyway, the lights, of course, don't mean much unless you stop it. And it shows you the state of each one of the lines on the bus, which is kind of handy. But when you're running, you just get a nice, solid display. They're switching so fast, it keeps them dimly lit. I had a bit of a problem with the spacing because I didn't have room for them all. So I stacked used 3mm LEDs with the resistor, current limiting resistor built in. So I didn't need an external resistor. And I stack them on top of each other on 0.254 millimeter centers. And that works pretty good. Also varied the color to make them stand out a little more. We hit the stop button, and that's about all there is to that. It's kind of a fun project. Used 7404 hex inverters here for the drivers, so as not to load the lines much. Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's at the same time you can extend one of the other cards up above the others in order to work on the thing. But to do that, I'm busy moving the bus for the memory data down to the bottom of the board instead of that strap on top, that top cable. That'll be nice. I got 3 boards that I have to make those changes to, and I've got 2 of them done. I'll do the other one as I get a little further along, or as I make other changes. Well, that's working pretty good.